We're talking Aaron Wan-Bissaka today. Is his time up at Manchester United? We know that he's got that 1 year triggered extension to his current deal. That's usually the doom and gloom move by Manchester United when they want to get rid of a player. I've already spoke about how Manchester United, now I've been told they're looking to move him on in the summer, but could he be going in January? NASSR, Ronaldo's club, Cristiano Ronaldo's club, are looking to strengthen in the right back department. We're talking that. We're talking the new United. So Jim, we're talking what his big plan is. We're going to look into everything off the scenes as well regarding Dan Ashworth and what is happening right now in Manchester United. This is Forever United TV. Hello everybody, wherever you're watching from, make sure you hit the like button and do subscribe. If you are tuning in for the first time, let me know what's on your mind. Get your comments in the live section and obviously get commenting on the video when it does drop on YouTube after the live is over. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. First of all, come on, let's give the video a like to get kick-started. It's very low considering how many people are actually in the room, so come on, let's not be miserable. I know the weather's not good, but let's get on to liking it, please, everyone. Anyway, where did this news come from? Well, it came out just a short while ago, actually, regarding the Telegraph and Manchester United actually looking at, well, I don't know if we're trying to keep hold of Wan-Bissaka in January. It's going to be interesting to see our stance on it. But the stance from NASSR is that Manchester United's right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, is actually a hot target now. So it came about, obviously, they are looking for a right back, NASSR. They were interested in Tottenham's Emerson Royal. They've now moved attention across to Aaron Wan-Bissaka because that deal has broken down. Can Manchester United afford to lose another defender in the January transfer window? We're not lost loads of defenders. I mean, in terms of the defence, the injury record, can we afford to let Aaron Wan-Bissaka go? What do you guys think in terms of Aaron Wan-Bissaka in this team? Is he more important than, say, Diogo Dalot, for instance? I think he is one that obviously is the main competition. I'm going to stick a poll up right now. Let's just see where you guys are at with our right backs. Who would you prefer at right back? Options are obvious. It is Dalot or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That is the poll right now. That is up in the chat, everybody. Get involved. Let me know where you're at. I want to see what you guys think. Obviously, I think the writing was on the wall for Aaron Wan-Bissaka when Diogo Dalot got that new contract extension back in May. He's now contracted till 2028 with that optional year on top of that. So when you're looking at contracts and when they're being dished out, when your main competitor is being given a lucrative deal, a big long contract extension like Dalot got, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, well, he hasn't had much, has he? To be honest, there's not been much noises around him getting a new deal. There's been talk, and in the end, he's got the dreaded 1 year extension. That usually means, say la vie, see you later. You're not going to be part of Manchester United going forward in the future. That's how I read it anyway. I feel like Wan-Bissaka has just been one of them players. I was excited when he came in. I thought it was a decent signing for Manchester United, but he's never really took it. He's never really took off. He's never really been able to hold down that right back position. Most people have complained that he isn't that good going forward. That is his main downfall. Obviously, Dalot is a little bit better going forward than Wan-Bissaka. We know that, even though it's not a lot better. It's still a little bit more. And it does look like Erik ten Hag has preferred Wan-Bissaka more often than not. He's preferred Dalot over Wan-Bissaka more often than not through the seasons he's been in charge, the last couple. But Wan-Bissaka, I thought, did have a chance of staying in the team. He fought his way back last season, and I thought in the end was probably our better right back. He deals with tricky wingers very, very well. He's a great one-on-one defender. He's not fantastic in the air, and he does switch off at moments. And I think that's what's let him down. There is no call for him. There's no outcry for him. No real disappointment that he could be going, which kind of tells you exactly where the United's fan base is with it. It's one of them. It's like, if we get the right bid, I'm not really concerned if he goes. That's what you're looking at with Wan-Bissaka. You're really not too concerned, and that tells you everything. That tells you everything you need to know. We can find another right back. I'm sure Manchester United will go and invest in a right back in the summer. It is rumoured right back, centre back, centre mid and a centre forward are United's priority targets for the summer. And if Wan-Bissaka's out of the way and we've got a little bit of money there, it makes that job all a little bit easier for the summer. I mean, it's balancing what we need this season to try and compete and get back up the table to getting ourselves in a good position come the summer when it does arrive. That's where we're at with Wan-Bissaka and any sort of deal with Manchester United right now. I feel like we're in this position where there's no one who's really got a lot of hope that we're going to make it back up into the top 4 or fighting for the top 4, but you're stuck then going, well, we have to give it our best go. And I think Wan-Bissaka would help us get up the table. I think he would. I don't think he's a bad player at all. I think he has had some good moments this season as well. But this is the cutthroat nature now of what Manchester United are, and it would seem that they are cutting cloth according and getting rid of players that really aren't part of the future, no matter if it is in January. I fully see Wan-Bissaka staying unless that right bid comes in again. We spoke about Casemiro last night and what it would take for a bid to actually be accepted by United in January, and we lose Casemiro now at this stage of the season. We're in the same predicament again. Another bid from Saudi, and Wan-Bissaka is the latest one to be linked with moving away. I do think we'll be able to handle Wan-Bissaka going more than what we would with Casemiro going. I think that's a definite. I don't think we'll be able to handle Casemiro going personally, which is why I said last night that I would probably keep Casemiro. It would have to be a stupid bid. It really would have to be a stupid bid. But guys, let me know in the chat what you think. How much is Aaron Wan-Bissaka worth right now? If he's going in January and a team desperately wants him in January, can we actually add a few... can we add a few noughts to the actual deal? Well, not a few noughts, but I'd maybe bump up the price a little bit for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And let's hope that we can actually do some... actually do a decent deal for a player that has still got the good years in his career left. I mean, he's only mid-20s now. He's got plenty of time left. Manchester United should be driving the price up for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. If someone wants to take him, especially from the Saudi League, in January, then you definitely need to be looking to nail down on what you can get for a player if someone's that desperate. The other side of this is, and where I don't think it will happen, is that age again, like I said, and a player of that age wanting to go and play in the Saudi League. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think that is going to happen. And at the end of the day, Wan-Bissaka, I feel, has got a lot more to give, and someone else closer to home, I feel, is going to end up taking him. So this is all going to come down to Manchester United, what the bid is, if they'll just start talking, and then can they convince Aaron Wan-Bissaka to go? I mean, they are going to be selling him in the summer anyway. Is Wan-Bissaka willing to drop down to that level? We were only talking yesterday regarding how many players are now gone that have gone to the Saudi League and now looking to come back again to the European leagues. There's quite a few. It's not all it's cracked up to be, and I think Wan-Bissaka will find it, I would say find it difficult. I think he is better than the Saudi Pro League personally, and it'll all come down to Manchester United making this move happen and convincing Wan-Bissaka, but I don't see it happening for the player. I personally, if I was him, I wouldn't want to go to the Saudi League, and I think there are better options out there for him, but it's a tough one. It is. I think it's easier to sell him now because of the demand, and if someone wants him, I think in the summer, 1 year left, it's obviously going to be difficult to get rid of anyone with 1 year left for the right price for United. Are they going to be tempted into letting Wan-Bissaka go, like we spoke about last night with Casemiro, if a significant bid comes in, is what we're saying? Is this going to be how Manchester United move? Is it going to be about the money for a, like I said, 26-year-old, 18 months left on his contract? I think we can get 25-30 million for Wan-Bissaka if someone wants to buy him in January. I mean, would we be able to get that with 1 year left in the summer? I don't know. Maybe it'll come from the... maybe it'll come from someone in the Premier League who haven't got as much money as the Saudi League. This is where United need to take advantage of it. But again, I think the player will have a big say on if he wants to actually go to Saudi Arabia and the Pro League there. I don't think he will personally. I think he's got more in him, and I do think he'll end up going somewhere else in the Premier League. That's my opinion on it. I mean, I'll come to you guys in the chat. Let me know what you think regarding Aaron Wan-Bissaka and what his best move is actually. Would you want to keep him? In terms of the poll right now, it's very close between Dalot and Wan-Bissaka anyway. I can see why Dalot got his contract. I can see him, obviously, he's a little bit younger than Wan-Bissaka. I'm pretty certain he's a little bit younger than Wan-Bissaka, but he just offers a little bit more. And don't get me wrong, I'm not Dalot's biggest fan. I thought he was excellent last year, and I thought he was going to the next level, and then he's dropped off again. If Wan-Bissaka goes, I think Manchester United are looking for another right back to play ahead of Dalot. That's my personal opinion on it. I don't think Dalot's good enough to hold down that right back berth on his own or be number one. I think United need another level above Dalot, and Dalot is a good cover. He's just not shown enough for me, and if Wan-Bissaka goes, this is, I think, where United will be going with it. But it's still tight between you guys in the poll in terms of Wan-Bissaka or Dalot as well. Dalot more versatile than Wan-Bissaka. If Wan-Bissaka does go, we need a big number, because if he goes and we do want Elise, we will end up having to spend big rather than play a plus bit of cash. Tough one. It is a tough one, Top Cat. It is. It is. It's like we said there, if we want Elise in the summer, are we going to put the money that we've made from Wan-Bissaka in January towards that in summer, or will it go on someone else? Will it go for another right back like we said we do need? I don't think we need Elise personally. I really don't. I think the priorities are elsewhere in the football team right now. Jonathan Dayton says, I remember when we let Lukaku go, which was the right decision, but when we got no replacement, so we would have been better keeping him. I feel the same about Wan-Bissaka. Who have we got as well? I mean, yeah, right back we're not as covered. We're not as well covered as we are at left back for right back, are we? There's like two there competing for it right now, and usually you'd feel safe with that. But there is no one else really past Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. We won't miss Wan-Bissaka in the long term. He's run his course at United. Time to sell, says UK Strains. Dobby says Wan-Bissaka doesn't cross. He just smashes the ball and hopes for the best. His tackling is 10 out of 10, but our fullbacks need to be more rounded. Yes, they do. I think that's the opinion of a lot of people, Dobby. Gerhan says, to be fair, we need two new right backs. These two are not good enough. Wan-Bissaka has really improved, however. It's going forward, that's his problem. Dalot is weak and can't deal with fast wingers. Wan-Bissaka can. What's more important, defending or attacking in a fullback these days? You need a more rounded fullback. The Kyle Walkers of this world are just not around everywhere, and I think United's recruitment team will be working overtime to find the exact type of right back that we need. Neither of them are good enough. Sign a new right back and keep one of Dalot or Wan-Bissaka as a squad player would be ideal. Dalot is more versatile, so letting Wan-Bissaka go makes more sense, says Darren. Yeah, I think that's balanced comments. I really do think that's balanced. I think that, like I said, Dalot is definitely a fill-in fullback. He's never going to be first team player, definite every single week. He's 100% not going to be that, and I just don't see Manchester United going into the window and coming out of it without a new right back. I don't. I think it is going to happen, definitely. Liam says, I'd sell Wan-Bissaka and buy Vanderson from Monaco in the summer. 50 million for a 31-year-old player is asking a lot. I think that was regarding Casemiro, not Wan-Bissaka, because we know that Wan-Bissaka is not 31. Guest says, sorry, he's just talking to Dobby. My mistake again. UK Strange says, if Saudi wants our players, they better be willing to offer a significant amount of cash. Manchester United's negotiation tactics and capabilities are all going to be brought into question now, I feel. Let me just see. Mike Sharp says, is it just me that thinks Wan-Bissaka doesn't look like a natural footballer? He has got that awkwardness about him. I know what you mean by that. Trippier is only 12 million, says Antoinette, but he is past, I think, what is he, 33 now, Trippier? So, I mean, there's a difference there with Wan-Bissaka being in his mid-20s. There is a difference in age there. You've got a little bit more time out of Wan-Bissaka than you have Kieran Trippier, so I think that's where there is a difference. Brandon Williams still on loan, books with 60 grand a week. Yes, he is. Which is criminal and needs to be sorted, and I think that's what will be sorted very soon. I'm going to get into that as well in a minute in terms of more stuff going on behind the scenes with Barrera and Manchester United's recruitment of new staff and new structure. We've got a few updates on that. Dello, is Clayton Blackmore minus free kicks and a sunbed, says Stephanie. Yeah. Like, so sunbed our Clayton. He did, but he could hit a mean free kick, couldn't he? He really could hit a mean one. Give the video a like, guys, please. We're nearly at the 100 mark. You know the rule. Let's get up to the 100 mark as quickly as possible, please. And make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you are watching for the first time. Let's get into a few more before we move on. So Jim and his team have already proven that they are very capable negotiators, and that is such a positive. Yes, it is a positive. It's a massive positive. I want to move on to a bit more on Berardi as well, and what is happening. Berardi's explanation at the time carries great resonance for Manchester United now. This is from Henry Winter of the Times. When you make an investment of that type, when you get it wrong, it was a significant impact over many years. Sorry, I need to explain what I'm talking about here. I'm going to start that all over again. So this was Henry Winter talking about what Berardi said regarding Harry Maguire. Henry Winter has gone in on a piece this morning in the Times talking about that meeting when Maguire meets Berardi, because Berardi was the one that said Maguire wasn't worth the money. So Berardi's explanation on deals like that, where Berardi's explanation at the time carries great resonance for Manchester United now. When you make an investment like that, of that type, when you get it wrong, it has significant impact over many years. So we needed to get it right, at the right valuation, at the right time, but more importantly for the right player. Berardi told the Manchester Evening News that season after, he went and got Ruben Diaz from Benfica, a younger, better centre-back. It's getting it wrong and getting that recruitment wrong the first time hampers you in the long run. There's never a truer word in that statement right there for Manchester United right now. How many times have we done this, and how much are we dealing with right now with all of these bad deals that have been done before that are hampering us moving forward, especially in the transfer market, and especially trying to get rid of players. This is where Manchester United are really struggling from mistakes that have been made before. Berardi, he said himself there, when you're coming to make a big decision like that, and they went and spent a significant amount of money on Diaz, let's not forget that. That was 65 million, but they made sure that that was the right player at the right price, the right wages and everything for them. And now look at where they're at with Ruben Diaz, one of the best defenders, if not the best in the Premier League right now. This is why they didn't go with Harry Maguire. There was interest there, but it was the wrong price for them, and they didn't want to commit to it. Manchester United hooked Harry Maguire up to a 7-year deal, near enough. It is absolutely ludicrous. So he had a 6-year with an extra 7th on top if they wanted. And this is what won't be happening at Manchester United right now, or going forward, hopefully. Berardi definitely knows what he's talking about when it comes to contracts, when it comes to players. We've got to be bringing in the right people in the recruitment area to back that up as well. That's important. But yeah, we was also going to talk this morning regarding the new United, and again, another piece from David Ornstein from The Athletic. Obviously, he was the one that broke the news regarding Berardi coming in from Manchester City, and his words yesterday were, I'm still in shock that this has actually happened. This is a full-on statement from Ineos. This just smells of Ineos wanting to take full control and be full ownership of Manchester United. They want to have full power eventually. How they get there, I do not know. But in his eyes, this was a statement signing for Manchester United and bringing Berardi in. This is our man. This is our project. We're going to be bringing in more of our people, and we're going to be the ones that are running the ship. That's the statement that Ornstein was talking about in terms of what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is bringing and what he wants from Manchester United in the long run. Does that mean Erik ten Hag is in trouble with his job? I would say definitely yes. The links that are being brought up with De Zerbi again, this is simply from the Athletics Barcelona correspondent. I've seen this on social media as well, when he was talking about the love that Manchester City have got for De Zerbi. And now with Berardi coming across, could there be anything in it if Ten Hag does end up losing his job, that Manchester United go all in for De Zerbi now? Does he fit the mould of the new structure? Will he work within this footballing transfer committee type of structure above him? Well, he's done it at Brighton, and how Brighton work. So effectively, he is the perfect man for the job, is he not? Other people that have been earmarked for the job, obviously we know about Potter. He's in the same sort of category as De Zerbi for me. I don't think any of us have wanted either one. We've done votes on both of these managers and we prefer Ten Hag. Obviously that was a while ago. It'll be interesting to see if anyone's changed their mind. I'm actually going to just see if you guys have changed your mind, because we did this poll a while ago. I'm going to just redo it again because it's coming up and obviously the pressure is going to be on Ten Hag. So, which manager works best for Ineos? So this is going to be a slightly different twist on it right now. So you've got Potter, we've got Ten Hag, and we've got De Zerbi. Which one are you picking now? Has your mind changed is what I want to know. What fits best with Ineos? That's the little twist I've put onto the poll there, guys. So it's your opinion, but who do you feel works best working in the constraints of this new structure which is coming in? Because we've talked about Ten Hag and what he wants and the power and the veto that he's got with transfers. That's not going to work with Ineos. So are there any other managers that work better or you think would work better with Ineos for you? And I get into some of your chat on this as well right now. This is why we need to have a brilliant scouting system. That player is out there. Football is a global game. This is up to us to find that player. United have to do it United have to do the hard work and do it the hard way. Yeah, that's 100% true, Gehan. They definitely need to start finding these gems rather than just expecting them to fall on your doorstep. If players don't want to be sold, then they will just run their contracts down. Chris, that's the problem I think that we've got right now. And this is like what I think it's a good comment there, Chris, because yes, players want to run their contracts down. The players do have the power now. So in what Barada was saying, that rings very, very true. And it relates to it as well, because players are being given, and negotiations within these contracts are all for the players. It's like Manchester United have just bowed down to all the players when signing them. They've given the world and they don't want to give that up. Anthony Martial's another prime example of it. It's crazy to think, well, you've got someone coming in who operates the way he does in Barada at Manchester City to Manchester United, who are only too willing to let Anthony Martial sign contract after contract and be at the club nearly a decade, when he's, with his injury record, his attitude and the fallouts he's had with nearly every single manager. You can see why we brought him in, but it's just night and day for Barada compared to what he was dealing with at Manchester City. He's going to come in and go, what the hell is going on here? What is this all about? But still, you're hoping he can turn it around and he can set standards at the football club and this won't happen again. But Chris, what you said there, in players running the contracts down, this all happens because of that first negotiation, that contract that's signed on the day when the player signs. This is what United are dealing with now, and like Barada said, you have to make sure it's the right one for you at the right price, the player that fits the model, and then you're not even looking to move players on because you've found and scouted the exact right player that fits your system and works best for your football club. So you have to work harder, like you said, in the first place, in the first instance, doing your research, making sure that player is absolutely spot on and the price fits and everything works well for the football club. That's the difference. That's what we just haven't done, and it's quite clear we haven't done it because no one else was willing to pay Sanchez's wages. No one else was bidding for Sancho. No one else was bidding the stupid amounts of money that we bid for Harry Maguire. It was just ridiculous. Even Van der Sar, when he came out and said, look, we tried to push United for as much as we could out of Anthony because we've seen an opportunity. It's just embarrassing. And this is what needs to stop, and this is what hopefully will stop. Thank you. We've got over 100 likes as well, guys. Keep pressing that like button. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let me just see now. Hoppy says, Erik ten Hag deserves a chance under a proper footballing structure in place. I think he does, only if he falls into line with them rules. We can't be just changing it straight away for another manager. The hierarchy needs to set the standards. The manager needs to fall in line with them. That's what has to happen. Top Cat says, In my opinion, De Zerbi needs to go to another club before he's even in the conversation for Manchester United. Potter failed at the next step with Chelsea. Ten Hag is the best for us right now. Some people might have said that Ten Hag needed to go to the next level. I mean, winning the Eredivisie seems to count for nothing these days, and the step up is massive. What is a bigger step up? Brighton to Manchester United, or Ajax from the Eredivisie to Manchester United? I'll ask that question. Is it bigger coming from a completely different culture and different style of football and different standards, or is it bigger coming from the same league but lesser team with less expectation? What's the bigger jump in football management right now? That's what you've got to ask yourselves. Is it more important that the manager has seen and was worked in the Premier League? It failed for Potter, yes, but it ultimately, first season was alright for Ten Hag, but it is failing Ten Hag now, not just in results, but in how he has been in the transfer market and the players that he's brought in that have failed. This is the difference. It's like Graham Potter under Chelsea, the carnage that was going on there. I mean, if Potter went to, say, an Arsenal or a Liverpool, I think he would do better than what he has done at Chelsea. I think the structure at Chelsea is not set up for any manager to succeed. The scattergun carnage which that club is, I think is too much for any manager to progress and actually have longevity. Compost Smith says some players refuse to come here because of the weather. It is what it is. Roy Keane's prime example of that when he was trying to sign players for Sunderland. It's not the lifestyle he wants. Honestly, I don't think there's much of that in it now when players are looking to come over to United. But I understand what you're saying. It used to be a thing, but I don't think so now. Liam Lighthouse says Brighton to Manchester United is a bigger jump than Ajax fans have higher expectations. They do for their league, but it's the standard of football, I would say, that you're comparing here more than anything. That's how I look at it. Ian Ghost says Ten Hag keeps players even out for in-game tactics poor and thinks we don't need a CDM. He has to go. Steve Nolan says if United players can't handle Eric Ten Hag's personality, they won't have a chance. With De Zerbi, you can just tell he's a hothead. He is a hothead. He has got that temperament. He does come across that way, doesn't he? Ian says I don't see a possible positive from Eric Ten Hag for a reason to keep him. What makes anyone want to keep him? He's failed big time. Last year it was crap. This year is woeful. Well, there's one for you, Ian, then. If Ten Hag won an FA Cup this season, how would you rate his time in his first two seasons at Manchester United? That's what you've got to ask yourself. A manager that's come in and won 2 domestic cups in 2 seasons, is that good enough for you? How are we rating managers these days at Manchester United? I understand what you're saying, and the defeats and where we are in the league is not acceptable. But the question will be asked, if he does end up picking up that FA Cup, which is doable, then how do you rate a manager that's won 2 trophies in his first 2 seasons? I know some would say Tin Pot trophies, not the biggest honours. United need to be fighting for the Premier League and the Champions League, but in the circumstances, it doesn't look too bad on paper, does it? But it's what we're watching and what we're feeling. And the atmosphere, I think, more is where he's failed, in my opinion. It's not that big a deal if one league is bigger than the other. It's the manager. He has to have the confidence and personality to manage in the Premier League. Again, yes, definitely. Let me just see if anyone else is commenting there. The Mog, yes, I agree. For the club of Brighton stature, they have an amazing track record, signing a cheap and selling for enormous profits. Do you feel like that will run out with Brighton soon, though? Do you think you've got another Southampton scenario right there? Is that what is going to happen with Brighton? You can only sell your best players continuously, season after season after season, for so long, and then it ends up catching up with you. So, yeah, I do think it is going to go. I do think they'll fall eventually. You can only bring in so many. I'll find so many gems and continuously do it. I mean, how much money do they want? When will they actually invest and spend big on a player? That's the question you've got to ask. When are their standards going to get to that next level? Or are they just happy where they are? No manager is ever going to stay at Brighton if that is the level that they want to stay at. If they think that's sustainable and that's good for them, then they're going to expect, and to be fair to Brighton fans, when I've spoken to them outside the stadium, they're happy with that way. They're happy that that is their club and their structure. They're always safe. They'll be on the cusp, just about on the fringes of the big time. And if the club is safe and bringing in money and selling players, they just expect it to happen now. And that's just where Brighton are with it. And they're happy with that. But I do think it will catch up with them. I do think it will catch up with them. Ineos will want their own manager. It's up to Erik ten Hag to change their mind, but I doubt that will happen, says Compa Smith. Again, I go back to it. The biggest thing that ten Hag has got to battle against, the results. Yeah, I think he can turn that around. Any manager can turn it around. You can get an upturn in form, but you have to fall into line with the structure. Otherwise, his time at United is going to be done. You only have to look at Ineos's record at Nice. Yeah, they've settled on Fariola now as the manager at Nice, and they're doing well. But 5 managers have gone before him. They're not afraid to sack managers if things are not going right. And yeah, some will say scattergun. First venture into real football, I would say, Nice, and like one of the top leagues. I'll say top 5 leagues, you would say. And it's took them a bit of time to actually get to where they need to be. And Nice are doing all right now. In terms of Francesco Fariola, who's actually being touted as a possible manager for Manchester United, believe it or not. So, yeah, it's very... I'd say, look, he's tinkering on the edge right now with the whole manager situation at United more than anything. I feel like Ineos are going to find it easier if they bring their man in, a new man, and everything they want and the fresh start they want. I think it'll be easier for them. They've got the options then of the likes of Sancho coming back. Will that stick again under a new manager? You got Greenwood coming back. You got a few talented players coming back, and a new manager coming in might actually get more out of them. They might have ideas of selling these players on and making the money for them, getting them off the big contracts, and then starting afresh. I mean, Mason Greenwood's not on massive money. Jadon Sancho is. I think we'll end up keeping Mason Greenwood and selling Jadon Sancho and selling Anthony. Like we said last night, I think cut down prices for both Anthony and Sancho, I think, is what we're looking at right now. And I think Manchester United, we will get investment from Sir Jim Ratcliffe to spend, but I think we are going to have to make most of our money. I think we are going to have to make most of our transfer kitty through getting rid of players as well. That is where we're at, I think, Manchester United right now. Sim says Brighton will follow Southampton. They're having a purple patch at selling. It won't last forever. Darren, Brighton will never be able to hold onto their best players. They're a very well run club. I don't see them falling away. It depends what falling away is. Is falling away being relegated? I can't see that with Brighton at the moment. They are well run, and I don't think that is in there with them. But hey, you never know. You never know, do you? But yeah, that pretty much is everything this morning, guys. A bit of a shorter video. There isn't much news going on. The main news is obviously Wan-Bissaka is looking like he could possibly be leaving in January. Al-Nassr, Ronaldo's club in the Saudi Pro League, are looking at bringing in a new right back. And after Emerson Royal, the deal that they wanted to put forward for him has fallen through. Now Wan-Bissaka is a top target for them. That's come from the Telegraph this morning. But yeah, guys, that pretty much is this morning's video done here. We'll bring you all of the updates through the day if anything drops. But obviously we'll be back with our interactive show later on this evening at 6:30 as well, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. It's been a pleasure as always. Make sure you do give that like button a smash. We're just about creeping up to the 150 mark. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all your comments, and I will see you all later on this evening, unless something major breaks. We will see, won't we? But for now, guys, like, share and subscribe.